You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. 49ers are going to saddle up against the New York Jets next Monday night in Levi Stadium. You got Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams had a chance to go to the press conference, take the podium, and start displaying what it is that they want to say and what they want to tell the fans. Take a listen, folks.
You've been through the process itself. How did that kind of help you over the time and course of contract negotiations, and then now to be back in the locker room with your guys? How has that, chemistry been?
Yeah, I talked to George. I talked to Bosa a lot. I talked to Debo a lot. Just trying to figure out certain things, get their feel for certain things, and just being able to talk with them through the process was huge. But also just being able to see them, be around them every single day. For now, just inserting myself right back in.
And I knew that right away when you get to him right away and you look at it. The type of person Brandon Aiyuk is, he's a competitor. Okay, he's a competitor. Being around the camp, John Lynch knew if you get him in here, man, he's going to want to take the field. The 49ers went this thing down one game from the Super Bowl, and Brandon Aiyuk felt the pain every single day in the offseason. He had a good crew to talk to, obviously, all the previous holdouts. He got George Kittle. He's been through it. Okay, Debo Samuel's been through it, and Nick Bosa's been through it. But he talked a lot about this is what he went through, how it happened for him. And it's kind of an eye-opener, but every NFL player goes through it because this is that part of the business. Take a listen, folks. It's one of those things you just don't get away from.
What do you think pushed this over the finish line?
Like Kyle says, two sides want to get it done.
In terms of conditioning, stamina, and being ready to play Monday against the Jets?
Ready to go.
Is there anything you would, it obviously worked out, but is there anything you would tell yourself, something that you know now that you maybe didn't know months ago when this all began?
No, not right now. But maybe the next time around, I'll have some advice for myself down the road.
It's just business, folks. And when you play for the San Francisco 49ers, it's just the way they do business. Okay, the 49ers are never one to give you the money in advance. Okay, normally they have all of the stars go through some sort of a holdout, except for Christian McCaffrey. And again, McCaffrey's done things nobody else has done. So they were able to work the deal out. Obviously, you got Brock Purdy's got to work the deal out as well. But Brandon Aiyuk's a football player. Okay, there's no doubt about it, okay? And he played over there with Herm Edwards over at Arizona State. He's constantly talking football. And he's talking football all the time, and he just looks at it one way. It's not anything you're going to build up on him or anything you're going to change. It's just way he goes about doing business. And you got to look at it and respect it because they know Brandon Aiyuk is going to give him 125, 150% of every ounce of energy he's got, whether it's catching balls, whether it's blocking, okay, bubble screens, you name it. He'll do anything you ask him to do to win the Super Bowl. Now, you got the big fella. He made it on in. He's happy to be here. Now, Trent Williams, that's a different case. He's seen a lot of training camps, and he's not rushing to any more training camps, but you got to realize this. He's a competitor.
What was your goal? What did you look to accomplish through the holdout?
Just security. Obviously, it's a volatile league. And a guy my stature, my age, I thought security was important, and that was all.
Any part of this, you mentioned your age, and just in playing deep into the season last few years, any part of this, do you wanted some time off from camp? Like, you don't necessarily need a full camp.
Now, don't tell a big fella's secrets, folks, but when you get around the NFL and you get these guys that have been around the NFL, you start getting over year 10, and you get some guys, it's probably about year 5, 6, or 7. But, guys, there's nothing enjoyable about training camp. And when you get to especially with the 49ers, I mean, Kyle's going to work you as hard as you're going to work. And for the big fella, he's been around long enough. I knew when they got Brandon Aiyuk completed, they'd get the big fella in right away because he just wants to come in on that Monday report date. We got a game in 7 days. Let's go play the game. He understands the schedule. He's going to play 17 tough games, but he enjoyed the character, and that's what you love about the big fella. He leads us out the tunnel, and that's what he does, but he's got a smile on his face because he doesn't want to see a day at training camp. And that's just the way the veterans are. You get those age on the legs. You want to rest them up and use all of them for all 17 weeks of the NFL, and that's just part of the way the business goes.
Honestly, I hadn't did a full camp, and I don't know how long. Ever since I got here, Cal has done a great job taking care of me, keeping a close watch on my reps, my workload. He hadn't asked a lot of me in the preseason game. So, for me, camp has never been well, I can't say never. When I was a younger guy, of course, it was grueling. But, now I look at it as a good time to get to know your teammates, get to know some guys that probably won't be on your team, come week one, but guys that you end up knowing a lifetime. So I miss those opportunities to see the young guys put on their jerseys for the first time, mingling with the crowd, at the luncheon and, just little stuff like that. You miss those times. So I definitely wasn't trying to dodge camp,
And that's the big fella. He'll tell it how it was. He says Kyle takes care of him. And that's what it's all about. You got to coach. There's some things with Kyle, I'll tell you, I call him Frank Sinatra. Okay, for those of you, we're going to kick this season off. That's Frank Sinatra to me. Why I call it that? Because he's in San Francisco, and what he does it his way. There's no doubt about it. He goes every piece of that puzzle. He's got a play sheet that he's put together, and it all got down to one game, one throw, one pass to win the Super Bowl. Okay, these things have been on their mind. They're coming back. They're saddled up. Big Trent, everybody loves Big Trent. Okay, and like he said, Kyle takes care of him. He's not going to have him do any extra work or any reps or play any preseason games. He knows what the big fella can do, and he's put it on film everywhere he's been. Brandon Aiyuk's the same way. He's put it on film. He's a blue-collar worker, and John Lynch will respect that each and every day, and he knows what he got, and he knows what the market consists of. The NFL wide receiver market went out of control, and you can never, ever, not put an offensive line together when you got the Brock Purdy MVP quarterback. We're going to start this up. This thing kicks off. It's going to be a great kickoff. Levi Stadium, you got the New York Jets coming on in. That's right, Jets. In the NFL, will never stop poking the bear. Aaron Rodgers, Northern California, from the Packers. It was consistent, whether it was a regular season in the playoffs. And guess what? You got the Jets coming in, are going to open it up. The 49ers are a revamped team on the defensive side of the ball. There's no doubt about it, but they still have, this is a regular season game, and every game is crucial because every team, doesn't matter if it's Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals, or the Los Angeles Rams, every team has gotten better, and they're gunning for one thing. That's the San Francisco 49ers. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're powered up by Fanatics, and it's time to play football in the NFL. We're going to kick it off this week, but the 49ers kick it off on Monday. You got Brandon Aiyuk, and you got big Trent Williams back in. So we're going to saddle up, and we're going to play against the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers, who's been out of the game for almost 2 years. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun, but it'll be at Levi Stadium. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. All things are possible to those who believe, and it's NFL time, and it's time to go. We'll see you soon.